Neil Diamond wrote and recorded a song called Beautiful Noise. Mine is the roar of the crowd. This is the only job I ever wanted, and this is the only place I ever wanted to be.
What's up, YouTube? It's J Coffee on the vid, tapping back in. And when I get up on here, I like to talk. I talk it up on everything, a bit of everything, much to my detriment, algorithmically. But I don't really care, that's just how I rock. We talk about sports, we talk about news, we talk about it all. So make sure you subscribe if you're new and get in the comments. I always want to hear from all the people on whatever we're talking about. But one of the things I truly love to talk about is sports. And within the world of sports and fandom, hockey, which you see all the imagery coming across your screen, is almost a subculture of itself within the world of sports, as it just doesn't get the coverage, or I don't know, it's like a fan base. Like I said, it's just a subculture where not everyone taps into it. Certain hemispheres and parts of the country have pro sport teams, and people don't even really care about it. The Buffalo Sabres, as Buffalo is a big hockey town, one year they were facing a team in Carolina in Game 7 of a best-of-7 series. The winner goes to the Stanley Cup Finals, and people were driving down and buying tickets right at the arena. It wasn't a sellout. Like, people just don't really care about hockey. It's another world in a sense. If you're watching this video and you are a fan of hockey, comment and let me know where you're from and who your team is, but where you're from. Just curious to know where anyone who happens to find this video and messes with hockey, where you hail from. But if you're familiar with coffee at all and you've watched my channel or just know how I rock, I'm a diehard Buffalo Bills fan, and the city of Buffalo is huge on their sports teams. The Bills and the Sabres, the two major teams. We have a baseball team that's minor league, but we love our Bills. It's Bills Mafia, but the Buffalo Sabres are huge as well. And this guy who opened the video here, Jeanneret, has passed away. And he was just a legendary guy when it came to calling the games. Just as great as he was, making all these calls, which I'm going to feature some at the end of the video. So stay tuned if you're, into this or whatever. The video will have some stuff on the end. He was as articulate with his words when he was given that speech, right? He said there was nowhere else he wanted to be. There was nothing else he ever wanted to do. He lived his dream. He became a big part of this sports franchise, synonymous with the Buffalo Sabres. And he referenced that song, Beautiful Noise. And, for him, that was the roar of the crowd. And the crowd went nuts for this guy. I mean, he was simply amazing at what he did. He has so many, what you would call now viral moments, but I guess we call them more like classics. And it's never going to be the same without him calling the Buffalo Sabres games. And it hasn't been the same, honestly, over the past few years or so, as he wasn't working full time anymore. He was doing part-time duty as he was getting older. As rest in peace, he did pass away at the age of 81, multiple organ failure. He just was old, but he had taken some, how I comment anyone watching how many games he was calling a year. I can't remember. It was not a lot. What a huge loss, as we all knew it was coming. He was getting up there in age again. He wasn't working full time. They honored him and put his jersey in the rafters, which comment hockey fans, sports fans, if you know of that happening in the past with any other broadcasters and stuff like that. And it probably has, but I just don't know that anyone is quite like how Jeanneret was. The only thing that I could think to compare or reference to someone who isn't really familiar with him or hockey is kind of like Madden was to football. It's a bit different though, as Madden, coached, and he had to video game franchise, which still goes on today. You know, Rick Jeanneret was just a broadcaster who was meant to do that job. He made everything better. He's just interwoven in the fabric of Buffalo sports forever. I don't even know if that Madden analogy is even all the right way right. Let me know, anyone, if you could think of a better way to compare them or break down who Rick Jeanneret was to people who don't know about hockey. As again, it's just its own subculture in a sense. And let me know if you agree with that statement as well. But that's going to be about it for the video. Stay tuned for the couple clips I'll feature. Let me know what your favorite call of Rick Jeanneret was of all time. I mean, this guy was in it from the French Connection to the Mayday, the 6 periods in overtime versus the New Jersey Devils. Remember the overtime thing? Like, what was your favorite LaFontaine? Just let me know in the comments what your favorite was. And also, I'm truly curious to know of hockey fans that weren't Buffalo Sabres fans. If you were aware of Rick Jeanneret, like, if he was a larger than life icon when it came to hockey outside of Buffalo as well, from opposing teams tuning into the games. Because I know sometimes if you're watching a football game, if you're ever the game's blacked out or you're listening to it on the radio and they'll have a different broadcast team on, or it's the guys that are on CBS or Fox compared to who you like to listen to locally. Some sports markets are known to have some pretty iconic guys. And I'm just, interested to know what it was like for hockey fans on the outside looking in, if you were fully up on the greatness and amazing career that Rick Jeanneret had. So thanks for watching. Rest in peace, Rick Jeanneret.
This is the only job I ever wanted, and this is the only place I ever wanted to be.
The minute that kid said,
Top shelf where Mama hides the cookies.